He's the prime cut passer from behind the meat counter. It's Fairway Frank. And introducing a 6'3 center who's a cut above the rest. Say hello to Audie Crooks.
I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans. And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field. Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cyclone Fanatic pregame show. I'm your host, Leah Nelson. Chelsea Poppens will be joining me in the studio today to talk about Iowa State women's basketball team taking on Cincinnati tonight at 5:30. We cannot wait. We'll break it down for you. But before we get started, as always, let's thank our sponsors. Starting off with our title sponsors, Channel Seed. Once again, they are the title sponsor for both the men's and women's shows this year. So obviously, we are super excited to have them on board. They're great people and great Iowa State fans. And our friends over at Fairway Meat and Grocery. Make sure you get all your produce, your meat, anything and everything at Fairway. They rock. Make sure you check them out. Thanks to our sponsors, Channel Seed and Fairway. All right, Chelsea, what is up? How are you doing? Busy week? Good.
Work, life, all of it.
Work, life, basketball, repeat. Iowa State taking on Cincinnati. What do you got for me? What do we know about Cincinnati women's basketball team?
Well, I think we should have this. We should have this. I mean, they're right behind us in the Big 12 standings. They're not as good of a three-point shooting threat. They were 0 for 12 with playing against Baylor, and so I think the defensive strategy for Iowa State is going to look a little bit different. They're probably going to sag off a little bit from that three-point line to force them to change things up because they're going to drive, they're going to attack, they're going to try to draw the fouls. And I do think that Iowa State's going to come in with a little chip off their shoulder TCU is good coming after that game. I think from me being in person and seeing them after the game, they looked a little down. So I'm hoping they get a little bit angry that they weren't able to finish the TCU game off the way they could have, or even just starting the game the way that they should have. I hope they're young, that they're actually going to take that to heart and actually come in with a little bit of fire and a little bit of grit into this next game. So I'm hoping that everybody shows up, not just Brown and Crooks, to the Cincinnati game.
I was going to say, do you think there's going to be a big presence down below for Cincinnati, or do you think it's going to be kind of Crooks' game this
I think
game?
You'll see Hayes. That's one of their leading scorers. She's a 6'1" forward, and I think you'll see her putting up a good fight against Crooks. But nobody's really going to stop Crooks from getting double digits. That's just going to be how it is. But I do think that hopefully it's a game that Iowa State can rebalance themselves. It's not TCU. It's not top team in the standings. They're going to be able to play their game they've been slowly developing. And hopefully you'll see everybody else step up. But we just can't have games this last game where it's only Crooks and Brown scoring and nobody else shows up. We can't be a one-dimensional team.
Speaking of you going to the game, can you talk a little bit about what you saw this past week? Did everyone besides Addie and Audie seem a little hesitant? Did it seem like they weren't as confident as a couple games before? Or what did you kind of see while you were watching?
Oh, I thought Crooks and Brown, look, obviously they ate and left no crumbs.
I was hoping you were going to say that. Look at you.
My youth lingo. But they, I think they played fine. I think Crooks, obviously she had to rewrap her knee. I think she's struggling a little bit with some knee problems. And that just really means that other people need to actually be looking for their shot. What I noticed like just watching Sunday's game is that people are standing around, and that can't happen. You can't be standing around looking for somebody else to do the work. You have to create shots. You have to make shots. You have to be looking for your shot, and you can't just be not moving. Like what you do off the ball is just as important as what you do when you have the ball. And it just looked like we were kind of going back to like beginning of the season where we're just like drilling bullets into Crooks down low and making dumb passes and having some dumb turnovers. And obviously they have Haley Van Lith, who's a tremendous athlete, one of the top guards in the nation. And she's going to go to work if we allow her, if we break down on defense. And so I mean, Cincinnati's going to be a different game. It's not TCU. But just like it's still growth. We're a young team. We're learning how to be consistent and showing up consistently and playing all 40 minutes, because you can't start a game where TCU has 13 points, 13-2 within 3 minutes. You can't start a game and be ready to activate and play hard and do the things that you've been working on in practice. Like you have to be ready as soon as the clock starts.
Does Cincinnati have a Haley Van Lith type of player? Not in the level of Haley Van Lith because she's incredible, but do they have like a standout player that's going to make things happen, or are they kind of more even keel?
They have good guards. They have Tania Hilton, who's one of their top leads and assists for their team, and she steals and she's going to be a presence out there. But they don't have a Van Lith. I think that's shown in the previous games that they've played. They're still going to come in tough. They're still going to come in with some fire, and it's just they're not the same team as a lot of the teams we've been playing who have a little bit more of that 3-point threat, and so that defense is just going to look different. Iowa State, I could see Iowa State maybe pulling into like a zone if they're just trying to at first to show that, or to force them to take shots that they're not comfortable taking, and just kind of adapting from there.
I ask you this a lot and your answers have always kind of varied, but is there any player besides Audie that you think could really step up this game?
All of them.
All of them. I knew you were gonna say.
All of them. Man.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I feel like we've talked about Sydney Harris a lot, and she's kind of been struggling, and she wasn't starting the last couple of games, maybe just the last game. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who steps up.
Yeah, because I mean, let me pull up the score or the minutes, because you saw like Lily Hansford getting more time.
Right.
She was doing a little bit better defensively. In the game prior, she was actually shooting her shots, and more people are getting minutes. It's just I just didn't see a whole lot of people looking to create outside of the primary players, Emily, Crooks, and Brown. And that's a problem. I mean, we're into Big 12, and if we don't have other players that are willing to step up and do what needs to be done and find a different role if it's not working, like that's a problem. And so hopefully, like we take the game from Sunday and we adapt to tomorrow's game.
I think it's a perfect team to do that against. Hopefully people are starting to gain a little bit more confidence, and we see some action outside of Addie and Audie. I know that game would be really fun. So yeah, thanks Chelsea. I appreciate it. It'll be a good game at 5:30. Make sure you tune back in for post game. Chelsea and I will be back on. And thanks to our sponsors, Channel Seed, Fairway, and Aiden for producing as always.
Whoop whoop.